Heavy rainfall across the region led to massive flooding, creating issues for roads all across the inland Northwest. This is video from North Idaho tonight. Roads are being washed out under saturated ground, and the flooding has been impacting homes and private properties across the region. Meanwhile, down in Pullman, there was also intense flooding. This is video from yesterday. As you can see from the video, high water is sweeping over the streets and throughout the parks there. We do want to remind people to never drive through high water, as it can be very dangerous. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. Let's get started. And tonight we begin with weather because that flooding is impacting areas across the region. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, it seems like the rain has tapered off. Is the flooding situation also improving?
Yeah, that's the good news here, is that we have gone past the worst of it. We're going to watch that flood continue to subside as we head through the remainder of the evening. And that's as a drier weather pattern moves in. So we should get a little reprieve, and that should help with ongoing flooding across the region. Dry now, temperatures in the low 50s. We'll continue to cool down tonight, but yes, we do have some of those flood concerns. Just a quick run through some of those areas. Let's get out the pointer and start off to the north. That's the Pend Oreille River just downstream of the Albany Falls. That is minor flooding. The St. Joe River just outside of St. Mary's, minor flooding there as well. And then as you move down to the south, that's the Palouse River from Potlatch, Idaho into Palouse, Washington. That's where we saw some of the worst flooding, major flood stage for that river. That is now starting to subside as the moisture exits the region. A few stray showers up in the high elevations. That's about it. Shouldn't cause any additional flood concerns there. And as that moves out, the drier weather pattern moves in. Tomorrow, we start out with not one cloud in the sky. We'll see a few build throughout the day, but all in all, a pretty beautiful day. Thursday, a little more cloud cover. And that's what takes us into the week. Here you go. A beautiful look at tomorrow. Temperatures do fall into the 40s tonight, and that's where we start early tomorrow morning. So if you're heading out for a morning walk, bundle up. By noon, we're in the mid 60s. We don't quite hit 70 tomorrow, but 70s are back in the forecast by Thursday and even Friday before more storms return. And unfortunately, wet weather takes us into the weekend.
All right, let's enjoy that warmer weather as long as we have it, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Well, all the heavy rain that we did see in eastern Washington did cause some issues on the roads, from urban flooding to road washouts. Our Janelle Finch was at the base of Mount Spokane earlier today, where DOT crews were working to repair State Route 206.
This road up to Mount Spokane was closed because stream flooding broke down parts of the road and washed it away. WSDOT crews have since come out to lay down dirt and rock to temporarily stabilize the road as a temporary fix. Take a look at what the road looked like earlier today. According to Ryan Overton with the Washington Department of Transportation, a tree fell upstream and collided with another tree, creating a dam. As the rain continued, water began to pool up from the stream into the road. The water was strong enough to break down the road and wash it away. This happened near mile marker 10.6 going up Mount Spokane. WSDOT crews finished putting down rock around 12:30 p.m. Overton says crews will need to come back to lay down concrete and fully repair the road. Driving up this road, there are still some spots covered with water and mud. WSDOT says if you do run into roads that are flooded, do not drive through them regardless of how deep or shallow you think the water may be. Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, the governor of Montana has declared a state of disaster. Significant flooding across the state has left people stranded in their homes, and many residents and their pets had to be rescued by emergency crews.
We've been spending most of the day today helping people that have been stranded by the flooding, either evacuate them or just getting them to the higher ground to safety.
Drone video over the area shows massive floodings and homes submerged in the floodwaters. The rushing river washed out bridges and highways in the area. The National Weather Service reports unprecedented flooding has hit near Billings. Forecasters say the area near Absaroka, Montana received anywhere from 0.8 inches to more than 5 inches of rainfall over the course of June 10th through the 13th. This, combined with anywhere from 2 to nearly 5 inches of snow melt equivalent, led to a total water event of at least 4 to 9 inches. New tonight, police are searching for a man they say sexually assaulted a woman in North Spokane. Take a look at your screen right here. Police have not yet identified the man, but they say he is a person of interest in this case. Investigators say early this morning, a man approached a woman near Wellesley and North Alberta. They say he was armed with a handgun and led the woman to a secluded area and sexually assaulted her. This is an ongoing investigation, so if you have any details on the assault or who the suspect is, you are urged to call Crime Check. That number is at the bottom of your screen. Now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. We are learning more about the local men tied to a hate group who were arrested in Coeur d'Alene over the weekend. One of the suspects is identified as a Spokane resident. Kootenai County documents identify Michelle Buster as a suspect who lives at a Hilliard address in Spokane. It lists another suspect, Josiah Buster, who appears to be his older brother but lives in Texas. Washington voter registration shows Josiah and Michelle Buster registered at that same Hilliard address. Josiah played football and wrestled at Rogers High School and graduated in 2016. We've also confirmed Michelle graduated from Rogers in 2017. Neither have a criminal history, and coming up in about 10 minutes, we will share more on their arrests and their other local connections. The suspect in the murder and disappearance of a 30-year-old Moses Lake woman has pleaded not guilty. That's according to the woman's family. After fighting extradition for more than 2 months, 28-year-old Juan Gastelum is facing second-degree murder and second-degree rape charges. Moses Lake police believe Gastelum to be the main suspect in the death and disappearance of Yanira Cedillos after her body was reported missing back in early March. Cedillos was the mother of 3 young children. Her body was found in a remote area of Walla Walla County back in mid-May after a 2-month search. Today is World Blood Donor Day, and blood centers across Washington say a shortage of blood is showing no signs of letting up. The Washington Department of Health is encouraging eligible donors to give blood this summer. It's a critical time for donations due to an increase in car accidents and other traumatic events. A nationwide blood shortage has left local blood supplies low. The American Red Cross says it is getting harder to provide a safe and reliable blood supply to communities all across the country. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol has postponed its hearing scheduled for tomorrow. The rescheduling was due to technical issues. The next hearing is set for Thursday afternoon. It has been more than a month since the U.S. Senate unanimously passed a Supreme Court security bill, and today the House also passed the bill overwhelmingly.
Threats of violence and actual violence against the justices, of course, strike at the heart of our democracy.
It comes as the Supreme Court police say they have seen an uptick in threats as the 9 justices prepare to issue major rulings on abortion rights or the Second Amendment. The bill allows Supreme Court police to provide around-the-clock protection to justices and their families if it is deemed necessary. The bill was introduced following a leaked draft opinion that suggested the court may be poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. Today on the House floor, Democrats said they are hopeful an additional bill can eventually be taken up to extend security protections to Supreme Court employees and their families. Several members of a family-run drug trafficking ring are now facing felony charges. They're accused of bringing more than 100 pounds of meth into the state. The charges involve drug deals in Lewis, Pierce, and Thurston counties. Investigators have been tracking the family since at least 2012, with some of the suspects using fake identities. If convicted, they face a minimum of 10 years in prison. Washington State now leads the nation in catalytic converter thefts. A report shows a 10,000% jump in converter thefts since 2019. The state legislature passed a bill to crack down on those types of thefts earlier this year. The bipartisan bill places new requirements on scrapyards and auto wreckers who purchase used catalytic converters for recycling. Well, today 20 people officially became U.S. citizens at a naturalization ceremony at Avista Stadium before the start of the Spokane Indians game. This ceremony honored prospective U.S. citizens coming from 16 nations, including Afghanistan, Ecuador, and South Korea. The team invited the ceremony participants to stay and enjoy the game as they took on the Hillsboro Hops earlier today. All right, don't go to bed just yet. After the break, new details about 2 local men arrested in Coeur d'Alene on Saturday, how they are connected to a former local politician. We are back in just 90 seconds.